Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting. Our mayor is still recovering from surgery, and it's my honor to chair the meeting. He is joining us by Zoom, and also our councillor Forrester and councillor Reed Sculptor Morban also joining us by Zoom. So, first of all, I would like to call the today's regular meeting to order. Uh, Do we have any, CEO Pucci, do we have any late items?
No, there's no late items, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So then we have a recommendation that the agenda for the regular council meeting of May 25, 2026 be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Cunningham. Second, do we
I'll
have
second that, Mr. Chair.
second by Councillor Reed Skelter Morvan. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Uh, do we have any public comments regarding agenda items? Okay, please come forward. So please press that button. Tell your name and your address so they can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Julio Arias, and I am a registered architect. And I'm here representing Kevin Zhang, which is the owner of the property that's located at 800 Second Avenue. And we are asking for a parking variance for the proposed redevelopment.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Hello? Oh, sorry. Now, with regards to this proposed of the redevelopment, it's an existing building, and we are converting it into mixed use where it'll have some office space on the ground level as well as 10 residential units. And I guess we're asking for the parking variance because parking demand is distributed and mitigated through downtown walkability, transit access, as well as we are providing 200 square feet of physical storage within the building as well. And its proximity to existing public and commercial parking resources, and that'll help support the community. And another thing is, I know that because there's a university and sometimes it's a concern for the students to find housing, this is another way to help support the community where we can provide affordable housing as well as for the students as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
thank you.
Anybody else has any comment regarding our regular agenda? Okay. So we can move to consent agenda. So we have consent agenda, council minutes for approval, minutes of the regular meeting of May 11, 2026. Report for SEPT, report from the planning regarding development activity report April 2026, memorandum from the manager of communication engagement and social development regarding indigenous relations committee feedback on all native basketball tournament, correspondent for action, joint advocacy letter from the city of Dawson Creek regarding improved access to publicly funded mental health services, correspondence for RECEPT, response to council inquiries, approval letter from Northern Development Initiative Trust regarding Prince Rupert Heritage Rail Zone Revival, Kunista Station, letter from the City of Abbotsford to Honorable Brenda Bailey, Minister of Finance, Province of BC regarding provincial sale tax exemption, and letter from the Corporation of the District of Saanich to Premium EV, Mr. Dix, Mr. Green, Minister Boyle, and Mr. Bailey regarding BC Local Government Climate Action Program funding continuation. Recommendation that all items on the consent agenda be approved or received as requested. Moved by Councillor Cunningham. Anybody second?
Second. I'll second that.
Second by Councillor Reed Skelton Morvan. Discussion.
Okay, first of all,
Councillor Cunningham.
yeah, first of all, the response to council inquiries, I'd like to request that CAO Pucci put these on the website so when people hear the questions in a meeting and it's just a letter form like this, they're not read out, at least they can go on the website and look up what the question answer was.
Councillor CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We can make that happen. Thank you.
Okay, and the second one is the letter from the city of Abbotsford. It's should be noted that most cities in Prince or in BC are very concerned about this. It's another way of the provincial government downloading things now to add more. It's just taking money out of our pockets, which is our taxpayers. And then the third one is the follow-up to council inquiries, the I Love Prince Rupert sign. Their staff is saying that it should be installed at the saltwater marsh, and I tend to disagree with this. I think it should be someplace where the maximum amount of tourists are gonna get to use it, which is somewhere down around the cruise ship dock or things like that. Should be placed with the most exposure to tourists, with the recent increase and concentration on cruise ships coming to town and that. And most of the cruise ship passengers walk up from the cruise ship to come to town and go through that area. Now I know we're going to be doing extensive renovations in Mariner Park, but they're not going to happen this year. So the old bandstand concrete platform there could be used for that as a temporary placement for this year, for the tourist season. And the proponent that has made this sign is willing to install it there at their cost and remove it at their cost. So I think it's something we should look into. I don't think it's putting it down the salt marsh is something that local residents and a few tourists will see. But I think if it's put someplace where the majority of tourists go, it'll get a lot of exposure. And that particular spot there, hopefully, or somewhere near there, would be very advantageous. You're going to get a lot of tourists taking I Love Prince Rupert picture with either a cruise ship behind it or at the harbor, especially on a nice day. And those pictures are going to go all over the world. And I can't think of a better way of advertising Prince Rupert than something like that.
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, we did choose the saltwater marsh location because there was a pad that was there already that could have take the install of the sign. Our concern is really around installing it and then having to remove it and then reinstall it because it does cost a lot of money to do that. We are trying to get the work in Mariners Park done this year. So but the band shell that's there isn't part of what would be this year's work. So them coming forward to pay for it to be installed changes things a bit. Is if that's not the permanent location though, then we would have to then pay to then reinstall it somewhere else at the permanent location. So
I think I think the proponent is more than willing to work with the city on a temporary location and then a permanent one later.
Okay.
Integrated into Mariner Park. I went to all the meetings for the redesign of Mariner Park. I think I was the only counselor there. And that was 2 years ago. And I saw the extensive planning for there. It's going to be really nice when it's done. But I think that this sign should be integrated into that park in one way or another. And for a temporary location, when it's not going to be used this year, I think as long as the proponent's willing to install it at their expense and take it out, it would be a very easy installation on that pad that's there right now.
See you, Pucci.
If that's the direction of council, we can look at that. Council would have to be aware that
Sir,
excuse me.
Sir, let him finish, please. Yeah. Okay.
If that's what council's direction is, we can discuss that. But the band area would be fairly unusable for other people to, if there was any sort of performances. So I think council needs to take that into consideration as well. But I think there's some other
Mr.
hands
Mayor,
up. So
Mr. Mayor, you have any?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I got to start by saying I love these things that are being created. The one down on the waterfront is well used, and I agree with Councillor Cunningham. Those pictures end up all over the world. My concern is really around cost and use of staff time, and so if the proponent is saying they cover the cost of the installation, here's what I'd like is that if the city can get away with just paying for an installation once, not twice, that would be a real positive in my mind. The site's ready to go in the salt marsh, as I understand it, and it could go in now. I don't know about the bandstand and competing uses. We'd have to figure that out. And I don't know about the stability of the site. That could be investigated very quickly. What I wouldn't want to see is the taxpayers of Prince Rupert pay to put it in and then pay to move it to another place when we know it needs to be moved. So that would be my concern in the whole discussion.
Thank you. Councillor Forrester.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll talk about that first, and then I have something else. I wonder if a way forward would be to ask staff to find out whether or not there would be that ability. We've heard from Councillor Cunningham that the proponent might be willing to pay for the first installation. Could we? I'm wondering what it would look like for us to find out if that could happen, and if so, whether or not the site would be ready. Just sort of building off what Mayor Pond suggested.
Okay. See you, Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So staff can take that away, but again, we are extremely tight with human capital right now. If we wanted to, I think probably the best thing to do is for staff to take this away and talk with the person that is doing the contribution and figure out whether they are willing to pay for all of that cost. And if they are willing to pay for all of that cost, and we only have to install it once, and it does make sense, and the band area is amenable to it, can accept it, and everyone is of the understanding that that's the best place for it, then we can put it there. I just want to make sure, again, as our mayor said, that we're not paying for this to be installed twice.
Thanks. So my next thing, Mr. Chair, in the consent agenda, there is a reference in reports for receipt, some recommendations from the Indigenous Relations Committee. I would like that pulled out so we could discuss how we might ask for those to be actioned. I wonder if you would like the discussion now, or if now, because we're still just voting on whether or not we agree to the consent agenda, whether or not I could just say I want that pulled for further discussion.
See you, Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we can finish this discussion and then we can move on to the discussion that Councillor Forster wants to. That's not a problem.
Okay. All right. Councillor Cunningham.
So can we get CA Pucci to get in contact with the proponent tomorrow and work out any details if they're willing to pay for it and remove it if at their cost if need be?
See Pucci.
Yes, I can do that, Councillor. Thank you.
Sir.
Yeah, is the mayor here? The mayor's on the screen right now, but it's supposed to be quiet in the gallery. Okay.
So, Councillor Forster, you want to discuss on the
Yeah, so in the correspondence for receipt, or pardon me, reports for receipt, there are some recommendations from the Indigenous Relations Committee that have been discussed by us at council before. This was specific to feedback on the All Native Basketball Tournament. I think it would be good for us to look at some of this. It had some really good ideas and recommendations, but it does not have cost associated. So when I'm looking at this, some of the key takeaways and recommendations, the first one is strengthening the city's presence at the All Native Basketball Tournament, such as having an annual city information table. It doesn't have what the cost of that to taxpayers would be, so I'm wondering what that might be, as well as costs for city-sponsored tournament passes. The blanket distribution is, the committee affirmed that the distribution of blankets was carried out for the right reasons. And they do suggest that there be some recognition of local teams. I think that's a wonderful thing. We often recognize local athletes in our community, and I think that's a positive thing we should do, and that's something we could definitely do. Very little cost, but a lot of gain for our community. As well as some of the other operational communication we've discussed in the past, parking regulation consistency. And while I recognize that the All Native Basketball Tournament does have a lot more people come over a prolonged period, I'm struggling when I've seen other large events and the parking is not being consistently applied. I've raised it before in meetings, and I would actually like us to start taking a harder line on that. If we are going to start ticketing people at the All Native Basketball Tournament, my expectation is we're going to have the same staff ticketing people at other events. Sorry, hard line in the sand for me. I think it's fair. We're receiving a fair bit of criticism for it. And it's not unwarranted at times. So I would like us to take that report out and look to find out what the costs would be associated with implementing some of those recommendations.
okay. See Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We can do that. We can have staff report back.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, you have something? You're muted. Okay.
I'd like to concur with all that Councillor Forster said. It'd be good to get some costs around those items and get a clearer path. You know, those are great concepts, but you know, what does that look like applied? And I absolutely agree with the parking piece. There is, you know, the unfairness in it when people are talking about it, in my view, is that they compare to other events that are nowhere near in size and scope. Okay, so there is no question the All Native Tournament is massively bigger than anything else that takes place, and so you know, we got to make sure we're talking apples to apples. However, if you can park on the highway without being ticketed during, you know, grad or dance or other events, and all of a sudden you're being ticketed because, you know, we're having a bigger event and a stronger enforcement, that does come across as incredibly unfair. And so whatever we need to do to bring consistency to that, I highly recommend that that's some low hanging fruit that needs to be grabbed. I really appreciated the entire report.
Thank you. Sia Pucci, you have anything add?
No, Mr. Chair, I've got the notes there. We'll have staff take that
Okay.
away. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the consent agenda? All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Now we move to reports 6A. Report from the planning regarding temporary use permit number 26-01-171 Misha Road. Recommendation that the council proceed with the statutory notification process for temporary use permit TUP number 26-01 and include as a permit condition that the city retains 5,000 cash bond until the temporary use is discontinued. Moved by Councillor Cunningham,
Second.
second by Mayor Pond. Discussion. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. 6B. Report from the planning regarding development various permit number 26-04-800 Second Avenue West. Recommendation that council proceeds with the statutory notification process for development various permit DVP number 26-04.
So moved.
Moved by Mayor, who, Mayor, yeah, Mayor Pond and second by Councillor Cunningham. Discussion. Okay. No discussion. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Now we move to bylaws 7A. The City of Prince Rupert road closure bylaw number 3672 2026. Recommendation that council gives third reading to the City of Prince Rupert closure bylaw number 3672 2026. Moved by Councillor Cunningham,
Second.
second by Mayor Pond. Discussion. Sia Pucci, you want to say something about this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to ensure that the council and the public watching are aware that this is associated with the road closure bylaw and not associated with the any sales of the road. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, we've got. Sir, we got to do. So this is about the road closures and not about any of the sales of the properties associated with the road closure. We'll be looking at doing the sales of the. Sorry, we have a bit of a distraction in the room here.
Sorry.
uh,
Excuse, just
yeah. Come and get back to get us.
okay.
Have a good evening. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
I wish I saw more counselors and the mayor here and everything else. It seems to be so many missing empty seats. Have a great evening,
Okay,
guys.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Okay, carry on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just want to reiterate that this is just really regarding the road closures and not the actual vending of the property and the purchase and sales or selling the property. So as for public notification, it did close. We did not receive any notification or questions, concerns around the actual closures of these thoroughfares. And then what we can talk about vending of the properties at the next meeting or after the Ministry of Transportation approvals come through, and we can then have a fulsome discussion of next steps. Thank you.
Thank you. So if no further discussion, call all in favor, oppose, carried.
Thank you.
7B, the City of Prince Rupert Road Closure Bylaw number 3673 2026. Recommendation that council gives third reading to the City of Prince Rupert Road Closure Bylaw number 3673 2026. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second
I'll
by
second that.
Councillor Forrester. Discussion. Okay. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Okay, now we will move to council round table. So, Councillor Cunningham.
Okay, first of all, congratulations to the Charles Hayes secondary golfing team. They're qualified for the provincials, which is something. The couple of quick ones. We were asked at the last meeting about when the Second Avenue Bridge was going to be done, and I noticed in our notes it's the second week of June. I just thought I'd throw that out there in case somebody's listening and is really concerned about it. Cemetery bylaw and other bylaws, when are they going to be coming up?
Siapuchi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have them coming on the next meeting. It was currently the next meeting is scheduled for June 15th. Our deputy CAO is not here right now, so she'll be coming forward with 3 bylaws: good neighbor bylaw, cemetery bylaw, and one other one that I can't remember right now, but there'll be 3 bylaws coming forward.
Thank you. And last, I attended NCGLA in Prince George last week, and our councillor Terry Forrester had a resolution on health and safety of nurses at work and ratios, and it was passed. So it's a good. It'll be going to UBCM next. So it was a good convention. A lot of stuff on health was taken care of, I hope. So we'll find out later. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Reed Skelter Morvan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, just a shout out to the Charles Hayes secondary team, and yeah, I think there's a lot of work ahead of us, and we're coming to election season pretty soon, so we'll have a strong set of months ahead of us to kind of finish in the work that's been set out over this term, and just to thank each and every one of you and members of staff for a very productive and uphill swimming term that we've had. And a little tumultuous at times, but we've found ways through, and a lot of hard work all around, and just a huge congrats to the team and things like that. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Forrester.
Thanks. Just a couple of things. I wanted to acknowledge today marks 5 years since the announcement about the 215 unmarked graves in Tecumlip's, and express my gratitude to the Lac Whillams Truth and Reconciliation Group that hosted some events at our Civic Center today, as well as there was some great events at the Civic Center over the weekend for Salmon Fest. It's always great, all the different things that our community volunteers put on to help out a lot of people in our community. The other thing I wanted to flag or to raise to city staff, I don't know how many people have been on social media lately, but there's been a lot of discussion out of Terrace and Kitimat over the potential of an AI data center. I was lucky enough to read a reporter out of, I think he's out of Kitimat, spoke to the person that's proposing this project, as I understand it, in very, very, very early days with very little planning, sort of guarantees, anything like that. I think it was more just an idea that kind of went viral. But that's just my understanding. It's not come to us as a council. It's not even discussed in our town, but it is something that's generating a lot of dialogue. And I'm wondering if we could ask staff to connect and find out what's fact versus Facebook, so to speak. Because there is so much, and this is just spiraling almost out of control. I recognize staff are incredibly busy, but if this is something that is a risk to people and their livelihoods in our community, and at this point it sounds like it's very, very early stages where, from what I read, the person that's introducing this idea hasn't even done a plan. There's not even a business plan for what type of cooling system is going to be used. But this has gotten legs, and I think we need to understand what's being proposed and whether or not anything's being proposed for our area, and whether or not we might have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, Pucci.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have it noted, and we can ask our Director of Economic Development to have a peek at that. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, you have any updates?
Yeah, just a quick one. Speaking of social media and lots of conversation. First of all, to our staff and the contractors, I think you've done a remarkable job trying to clean up our community. I know that there's a lot of pressure and a lot of talk out there about how it might have been done better or differently or quicker, or, the fact is we hired several contractors, have our own staff going at it. The reality is there was 3 times more sand put out than any other year, and it just takes that much longer. The trucks are having to go dump their loads way more often, and so sticking to a schedule has been difficult. However, that being said, I wonder if staff could do a little bit of a post-mortem when it's all wrapped up, and just looking to say, one of the complaints is, you've been updating, you're going to do my street then, and the updates come, and then even still we're not sticking to that schedule. I don't know how much veracity there is in that. Certainly in my neighborhood, I'm not observing substantial problems, but given the amount of, I think staff have set out to do a really good job of it. And given that some people are experiencing less than satisfactory service in their minds, it'd be behooving us to investigate whether there's a way that we might have even done it better. But I don't want that to come off as a big negative. I think that it's been a mammoth task, and this staff and the contractors have done a remarkable job. And even in the attempts to communicate in a rapidly changing environment, I think we've done well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Councillor Cunningham.
One quick question. When's our esteemed mayor going to be back in his seat?
Well, for those that may not be aware, I've had a hip replacement, and so 2 weeks ago today, I was in Richmond being cut open and deboned like a turkey, and I'm now mobile and certainly participating by phone as best I can in activities, and I very much appreciate the acting mayor and the job that he's been doing in my absence. I anticipate fully that by our next council meeting, I will be sitting in the chair again, and I will be attending various events over the course of the next few weeks.
That's good, because I'm acting mayor next month, and you don't want me in that seat.
Okay, if no further update, I just want to let know, like our mayor just say, like he's recovering from surgery. I had an honor to present the city at the celebration of the major investment that the Git Kerala enterprises had made in our community, where they did substantial improvements to two local landmark properties, helping to make our community more attractive destination for tourism and conference events. I also had the opportunity to attend the grand opening of Red Apple store and congratulate them and wish them all the best on behalf of our community. If no further update, then I will like to make motion to adjourn the meeting. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Terry Forst.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Sorry.
I neglected to mention, I'm very excited this week in our community. Our leaders from across Canada, they are delegates of the Governor General of Canada's Leadership Conference, of which I myself am a alumni. And I just hope that if you see these amazing leaders out and about, they're learning more about Prince Rupert and hopefully going to be advocating for some positive growth for all of us. Sorry, thank you.
No, thanks for update. Okay, moved by Councillor Cunningham to adjourn the meeting, second by Councillor Forrester. All in favor? Oppose? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.